Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take complex stories, stacks of information really, and try to pull out the key nuggets for you. Today we're digging into something quite chilling, a fictional mystery, but one that feels unsettlingly plausible. It comes from excerpts of Wokosho Kaseko, that translates to Shadows of the Court, the Judge's Murder. Our mission here is to trace the investigation you've laid out for us, follow all those twists, and maybe uncover what's lurking in the shadows of this story.
Okay, so picture this. Tehran, autumn 1404. That's 2025 for us. We're in this old courthouse building. It's late, it's quiet. And we meet Judge Mansour Kazemi. He's 55. Gray hair, thick glasses. You can see the years of work on his face. They apparently called him the ghost of the judiciary.
The ghost of the judiciary, why?
Because he worked relentlessly, always there, often until the early hours. A man known for, well, seeing things others might miss.
And on this particular night, he's focused on some very specific details, isn't he? The Natsianabad murder case.
Exactly. It involves a young woman, Layla, 28 years old, brutally stabbed the main suspect. Her ex-husband, Khosrow, who's 35.
But the case isn't straightforward.
Not at all. The evidence against Khosrow is, well, it's weak. Really weak. No fingerprints found, no witnesses placing him at the scene, nothing concrete.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because the judge himself seemed to have doubts.
He did. Right there in the file margin, Judge Kazemi had written a note. This murder is connected to something bigger. Be careful.
Yeah.
And get this, he was actually waiting for Khosrow that night for a final interrogation.
But Khosrow never showed up.
He never arrived.
Wow. Okay, so that setup alone feels heavy with foreboding. Let's walk through how that night actually played out for the judge.
Right. The atmosphere described is tense. You get the sense Judge Kazemi felt something was off, just this strange weight, and the setting itself, this old creaking courthouse, the cold autumn wind, it all adds to this feeling of unease.
So he's there working, feeling this tension.
Yeah.
Then what?
Then there's a knock, soft knock on his door. He calls out, waits. Nobody comes in, just sees like a shadow outside the door, hesitating.
That's creepy, a hesitating shadow.
Yeah. So he steps out into the corridor. It's long, dark, empty. But when he goes back into his office, shock. The Natsianabad file isn't on his desk anymore. The papers are all over the floor, scattered.
Okay, so someone was definitely in there.
And they left something. On one of those scattered papers, a message. Red ink, shaky handwriting.
What did it say?
Justice will kill you.
Chilling.
And immediately after he sees that, boom, the lights go out. Total darkness. Then he hears these heavy footsteps coming down the hall, like iron boots, the text says. He's hit from behind, sharp pain. And just before he loses consciousness, he sees this tall shadow over him, holding a knife, gleaming, then nothing.
So that phrase, justice will kill you, it wasn't just a random threat given his line of work.
No, it feels deeply personal, almost symbolic of the dangers he faced.
And the next morning, the discovery.
Grim discovery. The guard, Mr. Rahimi, he's about 60, finds the judge. Blood everywhere, papers scattered, soaked, and a knife. Wooden handle, lying right there. But no sign of Khosrow, no sign of anyone else.
What did the guard Rahimi report about security? Any clues there?
Well, this is where it gets suspicious right away. Rahimi insisted no one entered the building all night.
Clearly someone did.
Exactly. And the CCTV, apparently the footage from that night was just noise, static, interference.
Suggesting tampering.
It screams tampering, deliberate interference. This wasn't random. It points towards something planned. An external force, maybe?
Okay, so a high-profile murder, a compromised scene. This needs a serious investigator.
Enter Detective Bahram Sharifi. He's 42, described as having sharp eyes. A seasoned investigator from the Revolution Police Station, known for tackling complex cases.
And this one definitely qualifies as complex, more so than usual, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. This wasn't just any case. Judge Kazemi, over his 20 years, had made powerful enemies. He'd handled everything, major drug rings, huge financial corruption networks, sensitive stuff.
So threats wouldn't have been uncommon for him?
Apparently not. Anonymous letters, threats, they were part of the job for him. But the text suggests he never really took them seriously enough to, change his routine.
Until maybe this time. And Detective Sharifi, Bahram, he picks up on the significance of that Natsianabad file pretty quickly.
Immediately. Especially because Judge Kazemi had actually warned him about it personally.
Warned him? How?
He told Bahram something like, "This case connects to sensitive places, Bahram. Be careful."
Wow. almost like a premonition, like the judge knew he was onto something dangerous.
It certainly seems that way, a warning he tried to pass on.
Okay, so Bahram has this warning. He has the file. What about Khosrow, the initial suspect in Layla's murder? You said the evidence was weak.
Extremely weak. Let's just recap. 0 fingerprints on the knife used to kill Layla. Neighbors didn't hear fighting, didn't see Khosrow there that night. It really makes Khosrow look less like a killer and maybe more like a scapegoat.
A convenient person to blame.
Yeah.
And Bahram finds something odd about Khosrow's planned interrogation, right? The one that never happened.
Yes, this is a key thread. Khosrow was scheduled to be transferred to the courthouse at 11 p.m., the night of the judge's murder. But the officer in charge that night, Captain Murati, claimed the police van broke down. That's why the transfer was delayed.
A breakdown. Seems plausible, maybe? Or did Bahram doubt it?
His instincts kicked in immediately. He did some checking, talked to the station guard, and the guard said, nope, van was perfectly fine that morning, no issues reported.
So the van didn't break down.
Doesn't look like it, which means the delay was deliberate. Someone wanted Khosrow kept away from the judge that specific night.
That raises huge questions. Why delay him? Who benefits?
Precisely. It points to a cover-up, or at least an obstruction, something beyond just Khosrow.
So Bahram starts looking beyond Khosrow, digging into the judge's past cases.
Exactly. He goes into the archives, starts sifting through old files, and he finds one. A big financial corruption case from 1398. That's 2019 or 2020.
And who was involved in that?
A very influential businessman named Farad Rahmani. Judge Kazemi had been the one to send him to prison. And during the trial, Rahmani had made a direct threat against Kazemi, said he would bring Kazemi to ruin.
Okay, motive established. Is Rahmani still in prison?
No, that's the thing. He's out. Free. And not just free, but living large in a mansion up in Zafrani, a very wealthy part of Tehran.
So a powerful enemy with a grudge, now free and wealthy. Sounds like a strong lead.
A very strong lead. This feels like classic revenge, but maybe with, significant resources behind it.
Did Bahram go talk to him?
He did. Paid Rahmani a visit at his mansion. Rahmani's response: cold denial. Claimed he hadn't seen Kazemi in years. Pure ice.
But Bahram didn't buy it.
His gut told him otherwise. He noted Rahmani's eyes. They gave something away. And more disturbingly, Bahram sensed Rahmani still had clout, influence, even over some police officers.
Influence over the police. That connects back to the van incident, doesn't it? Captain Murati?
Exactly where Bahram's mind went. He put the pressure on Captain Murati, and Murati folded.
He confessed.
He admitted it. Rahmani had bribed him specifically to delay Khosrow's transfer that night. Murati denied knowing anything about the judge actually being murdered, but he admitted to taking the bribe for the delay.
Wow. So Rahmani directly interfered to keep Khosrow away from the judge.
Yes. It shows how corruption, even seemingly small acts like delaying a transfer, can pave the way for much worse things. It creates ripples. You have to wonder who else might have been involved, even indirectly.
Okay, so Rahmani is looking guiltier. But is there anything linking him to Layla's murder, the first one?
Well, this is where a small detail becomes huge. An elderly neighbor of Layla's, Mrs. Parvin, Bahram talks to her again, and she remembers something crucial. She saw a man leaving Layla's house the night Layla was killed. A tall man, dark jacket, wearing a hat.
Okay.
She was very specific. She said he was not like Khosrow. The description she gave, it matched Farad Rahmani.
It matched Rahmani, leaving Layla's house on the night of her murder. That connects him directly.
It's a massive breakthrough. And then Bahram finds the final piece, the clincher.
What is it?
He goes back to the courthouse, searching more thoroughly. Down in the basement, in an old storage box for the Natsianabad case files, he finds another note. Hidden, handwritten, by Judge Kazemi himself.
Another note from the judge. What did this one say?
It said, Layla was the victim of a large transaction. Khosrow is just a pawn.
A large transaction. Khosrow is just a pawn. So the judge knew. He knew Layla's murder wasn't domestic. It was tied to something bigger, likely involving Rahmani.
It connects both murders directly. Layla wasn't killed by an angry ex-husband. She was killed because of some large transaction, and Rahmani fits the description of the man seen leaving her house. Khosrow was set up.
Okay, this is it. Bahram has the motive. The witness linking Rahmani to Layla's murder, the bribe connecting him to the judge's murder night, and now a note from the judge himself confirming the link. He confronts Rahmani again.
He does. Goes back, armed with all this. Rahmani, of course, has his lawyer there. Denies everything, vehemently. He's smooth, evasive.
But Bahram must have enough for a warrant now.
He gets one. A search warrant for Rahmani's mansion. And in the basement, bingo, A secret room,
Secret room, what's inside?
fake documents, stacks of them, and knives. Identical to the one used to kill Judge Kazemi.
Identical knives. Okay, that's undeniable proof they got him.
Well, almost. The discovery confirms Romani's direct involvement, no doubt. But just as they're closing in, ready to make the arrest, Romani vanishes.
Vanishes. How?
He just disappears. Slips away before they can grab him. It shows how resourceful, how connected this network might be. They're always one step ahead.
So Romani is on the run. But the story doesn't end there, does it? It gets personal for Bahram.
Terribly personal. That same night, Bahram's back in his own apartment. He hears footsteps outside, then the lights flicker and go out. He sees a tall shadow outside his door.
Just like the judge saw.
Exactly. He grabs his weapon, opens the door, nobody there. But something is, another note, left on the floor.
Oh no. What does it say?
The shadows are still alive.
The shadows are still alive. So even with Romani identified, maybe he wasn't the only one, or wasn't the ultimate power.
That's the terrifying implication, isn't it? Bahram realizes he's potentially only dealt with one part of it, the real mastermind, or the larger network, the shadows. They're still out there, still operating, still watching him.
So let's try and unpack this. We started with this dedicated judge, the ghost of the judiciary, working late on a case he knew was dangerous. And we followed the investigation through his murder, uncovering corruption, an old enemy seeking revenge.
A witness account changing everything, a hidden message confirming the connection between two murders.
And it all seems to point to Farad Romani. But then he escapes, and the threat continues, aimed directly at the investigator. That note, "Justice will kill you," feels even more menacing now.
It really does. This whole deep dive into the story, it's a stark reminder, isn't it? The pursuit of justice, especially against powerful hidden forces, it's incredibly dangerous. These shadows, they're not just people like Romani, perhaps, but a system and influence that's hard to pin down.
And it leaves you wondering, even when you think you've solved it, have you really? Can the real players just melt back into the darkness?
Exactly. The story makes you question the very nature of justice when the system itself might be compromised. When influence runs so deep, who really holds the power then?
It leaves us with this unsettling thought. What happens when those seeking truth become the targets themselves? And just how far do these shadows reach? Beyond the courtroom, beyond individual grudges, maybe into the very structure of things. Something definitely to think about, this idea of fighting an invisible enemy in the quest for justice.